So we still continue, and obviously being someone who is from the UK and is really worried about what's going to happen with Brexit, this is going to be a continuing topic on my channel. I'm sorry, but these are the things I think we need to talk about because A, they weren't discussed during the referendum, which says a lot about the Leave vote, as well as how awful and terrible the Remain campaign was. So today we're going to discuss why the government didn't put a threshold into the referendum bill. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, whenever there is a big constitutional change, the whole idea is that there needs to be a supermajority. And the referendum that we had did not meet the referendum supermajority, that would be a constitutional changing supermajority. Now, Nigel Farage had said multiple times before the referendum that if the outcome had been like this, except he had been Remain Leave, he had said that there would be a clear mandate to have another referendum. Now, I've said this to Brexiteers before, and I never get a clear answer. Now, the other thing I want to talk to you, if you are a Brexiteer and you voted to leave, and I always hear the argument of Parliament must be the absolute, sovereign, governing body, then why wasn't there, like there would be, because when we leave the EU there are going to be massive constitutional changes, some of which a lot of the Tories in particular that have been egging on to leave the EU, are the ones that want to get rid of a lot of these constitutional changes that we've had. So, if you really do believe that the Parliament should be the absolute supreme authority, then you should also be going for to have a clear supermajority. As I've said multiple times before when discussing this, Brexit is going to be massively changing to the UK in ways that we cannot possibly foresee or even understand currently. A lot of this is going to be hindsight come 5, 10, 20 years from now. A lot of people are going to be asking, why wasn't this discussed? But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, because Brexit, once we've left, and problems caused by Brexit, they are not going to be placed at the feet of Brexit and us leaving the EU. They are going to be placed at the then ruling party, be it Tory or Labour. So we have to understand that in the future, when we do these constitutional changes, and I think that when we leave Europe, there is going to be a very and there should be a very big push, if you do believe that this Parliament is the ultimate supreme authority, then we are going to have more constitutional votes, which will require us, because it will be a change to our constitution, we will have to have a super majority to confirm some of these things that are ultimately going to happen. So, the final question I have to give to you, any Leave voters, is why was there no supermajority on it? And if this was, as so often bandied about, was an advisory, then why should we follow the advice of 37% of the country? That isn't a clear majority. So, little question for you to ponder upon today. And if you do feel like Parliament should have had supermajority, you know, in the Brexit bill, then I encourage you to follow the link below and sign the petition to ask Parliament that very question.